by end of 2027, this is what I am visualizing for my life. I would be called by colleges to help their students get placements. I would be called by organizations which work on career development to give speeches and keynote speak as a keynote speaker. 2027 is what I am thinking. Had it been in 2022 when I started this journey, if someone would have told me all these things that I am going to share to you now, I would have brought that date not to 2027, but maybe 2025. 2 years, 24 months of my life I could have saved. So I start today by making a very big commitment. So let me share my screen and tell you what is the commitment that I want to make today in front of everyone present in this session. Whatever the abstract things that I learned and still learning about this beautiful concept, because this is the North Star for my growth, my progress. Not now, it was earlier, it is now, not just now, and it will be in the future also. So I will share all the abstract thoughts that I have in my life about this topic in a human language so that it will help you to develop your voice and your audience. And let me confess, it is my journey even today. So I am part of you. It's just that I can be that small guide who can have a brochure in the hand and take you through this maze. So let's do it. For all the things to happen, you need to have this single ingredient. I don't want to overemphasize that and also at the same time underplay it, because whatever I have seen about this particular item, right? Either people underplay it so bad or they overemphasize as if it is the ultimate panacea that will solve all of your problems. I want to make that something in between and give you the effects of what it can give, which is your grit and determination based on your passion. Don't be so obsessed about it. At the same time, don't take it lightly. Understand what motivates you, and your passion is so important. Why is it so important? And what is that this session all about? If I have to underline one statement, it would be this. There is something powerful, unique in you, and that always wanted to have its voice. Somewhere because of the reasons like, do I really have something inside me? If I put something in public, social, will people really read it? What if I am not so good enough? What if somebody questions me that, oh, you have said something, but I don't think it is correct. I don't have an answer to this. What if I put content and my office people, my boss and other people start looking at it and raise their eyebrows? And the biggest question, how should I start? What should I do? And what is the way forward? So before I reveal the breakdown of all these things, because I have traveled this journey, I am now traveling this journey, which much more, I would say, a bit of enlightenment. But before that, I want to see people being on camera, because if you want to have your thought leadership, you cannot hide your faces. It is a given thing. If you hide your face, your name doesn't have a representation in the crowded online market, whatever it is. For whatever product that you want to get into the market and you want to buy or sell yourself, if you don't slap a face to the name, do not expect great things to follow in your path. So please be on camera. It matters a lot, not for me, but for you, so that you get used to this non-judgmental environment. be comfortable, and get the ball rolling. So let me again share the screen. As I said, there is something inside you. Today, we are going to understand in a simple language, as I told, in human language, that I am literally standing in front of you. Imagine I am sitting in front of you or by your side and talking about these things. What is that I'm saying? What is that when I said that everything is already inside you, just waiting to come outside? It's your story. Now, that's a very grand term and a very umbrella term or a superficial term, saying that, okay, bring back your stories. What are your learnings and other stuff? But let me put in a very simpler manner with these 7 powerful items. You have lived your experience. It could be your personal life. If you choose to bring it, it definitely should be your corporate life or your professional life, where you have lived the experience of facing the deadline, the experience of driving a team, the experience of being an individual contributor or a manager. Anything and everything is your experience lived. Just that we humans are so busy when our clock starts at 9 and ends at 5, the representation of 9 to 5, but we forget what are our experience. Only when it comes to preparing a resume, we think that, okay, this is what I have done. Still, we miss the important part, like what is the experience that I have lived, not what I have done. So your expertise, what you love, this differentiates from person to person. The sweet that I love might not be the one that my cousin likes it. What is the thing that makes you so furious? And here we all know that story or the incident of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi being kicked out. Of all the revolutionaries who were so furious against the imposition of slavery on them, that they were able to take those monumental activities. So, what makes you furious? The books you read. Now, quote unquote, this is not the physical book that you take in your hand, but the book which could be an audio book, or the books that you have read, the book that has influenced you, the book that you have in your mind. If I read it, will make my life better. The podcast that you listen. And finally, what you think about you. What are those things that you share with your friends? In your absence, your friends think about you. These all things become the raw material of your thought leadership. So I cannot pinpoint and say that this is your thought leadership. It's a very abstract concept. The picture that I give will be entirely different to the picture that you give to yourself for this very powerful concept in our life that can change the trajectory of your career, which is your thought leadership. Because all these elements, if you see by zooming in, your lived experience, your expertise, your what you love, what makes you furious, everything, it generates a thought in your mind. Now, whether you want to just ignore that particular thought you got at that point of time because you are reading that story, or you want to hold it and convert it into a powerful means, is up to you. This is what is thought leadership. Now, all these things intersect at some point because it is all about you. Like all the rivers going to an ocean, all these various experiences that you are picking up, your mind is picking up consciously or subconsciously, they join at a place, and that is you. And from that intersection point, talk to the audience or to the external world, not what has happened backside. But because of this particular thought that you got, reading that book, listening to that podcast, how you feel the things are relevant to your life. I have always this analogy that I speak up whenever I think about this thought leadership. In our life, we are climbing ladder, not the corporate ladder. We are climbing a ladder, or it's a representation of our growth. If I am at the 50th rung, still to cross thousands and thousands, there are people who are just starting now. There are many who are above me by my side. When people say that, okay, what is it I can share with the world? This is what is the analogy I put in front of them. Just look down and share from your life, your lived experience, one thing, so that it becomes a raw material or a thought triggering activity for the other person who is below you, so that he can look at it forward in his life. Because you are always setting the direction to the front. That you say that in my experience of dealing this kind of client or project or product, these are my experiences. Now, based on this, when I handle tomorrow another project, these would be step 1, step 2, step 3 that I want to avoid or I want to do. Now, for this simple input, somebody who is your junior will be so much, he or she will feel so much of gratitude lifelong, because that changes their stay in the office or the way they do the project. So always join at the intersection point, bring all your experiences and look it forward. For you to be called thought leader, because when you display this kind of traits, right, how should you know that you are already a thought leader? And for that matter, we all are thought leaders. It is just that intentionally somebody is telling to the world that I have these thoughts and this is what I want to establish myself as. And somebody is just silent, letting other people decide for themselves based on what they see regarding this particular person, a leadership position, which might be what that person might be intending or not intending. So look back your life, your day-to-day activities in your family or professional life or anywhere. See what are the things for which you are the go-to person, that your colleagues are coming from, your manager is coming from, your management, your friends. What are those areas somebody takes you as an inspiration? Your children, your wife, your siblings. And finally, one of the most important characteristics that you have to pick up in your life, those areas of your life where you know that you are raw, you are authentic, and you are original. You are not doing because you want to please someone. This is not an interaction where you have gone to a marriage and then the good conversation is happening and you are clapping along with the audience. But a very straightforward conversation is happening. Let us say something in your family, an important decision to be taken, whether it is likable or not likable, but in a manner which is not hurting to others. What is that original thought of yours that you say? What is that thing when you say in a corporate meeting or in your team meeting? These are your authentic and original things. So when you bring the more authentic and original things, you become you. So here is what I read some quote. I think it was by a famous author, Oscar Wilde. Be yourself because everything else is taken. Be yourself because everything else is already taken. So the more you talk about you, the more you will become the more you will become you, because the authenticity, what we are talking about, slowly starts emerging. This is the bedrock or the basis of bringing your thought leadership. Now, these are also a little bit abstract. I intentionally am trying to put these abstract thoughts in your mind because when you see the implications of this thought leadership in your real life, how is that it is being perceived? And for that, we have prompts already created. I have already created ChatGPT prompts. I will take you through one of the case studies which will help you to understand if these are the inputs given, how would be the output, so that at the end of this complete prompt stack, when you interact with ChatGPT, you get your 500-word thought leadership report, and you also get one very important thing. So this is what I spoke about. I gave an incident, a situation wherein you are in your in a marriage and you are not talking to please people, or you are talking to please people. The essence is that what are those points in your life that you won't feel sorry to speak? It is your brave version, your braver version, when you want to put your thought leadership in writing. So this is thought leadership as an abstract concept. Now there are ideas, these are all ideas floating in clouds and air and in your mind. How do you make it concrete? Either you speak about it or you write. We have heard of these kind of journalists who say that, okay, this person talks about the real stuff. He is not afraid of writing what is true. So writing is an expression of bringing out your thought leadership. It speaks about your braver version. If you choose the other path, like you want to speak about it, this is a beautiful thing that happens in your life. When you start speaking about your thoughts, like attracts like. You will slowly see that your network will be forming around you. You don't have to take huge amount of trouble. You just have to get onto a platform where you want to speak. Or for that matter, even when you write on platforms like LinkedIn, your authentic thoughts, your reflections on something, you will automatically get your network built around you. So your thought leadership has these implications when you start doing the action, either through words that you write or the words that you speak as an audio format or as a video format. Let us now bring it to the concept. I would not say this is a concept. Thought leadership could be a concept for me, but personal brand is something that you every day live. So think of personal branding as a gift wrapper around this thought leadership. For example, in my case, when somebody thinks of a college student, when he or she comes to my profile, they immediately associate embedded systems to me. They're saying that, okay, this person is good with embedded systems. Now I am doing a repositioning, which is like a career coach who guides people using AI to heavy lift the aspects of career planning. So this is an intentional pivoting. Whatever it is, my personal brand wraps around my thought leadership. So I would not be talking about how to play cricket, how to bake that cookie, or how to make cake. I will only speak about, if you see my LinkedIn profile, only posts about resume, personality development, career growth, and embedded systems. That's it. I even don't think about any other thing. Because my personal brand, when somebody sees it, they feel it. It all depends on how I express it. Now, there is a catch here. Because I have taken a stand doesn't mean that everybody will be attracted to me. In fact, I don't want everyone to get attracted to me. That's not my intention. And that should never be an intention of someone who is trying to establish their personal brand and want to bring their thought leadership outside. Because marketing to everyone is marketing to no one. I cannot expect getting into a sweet shop and purchasing bangles. And vice versa, I cannot expect entering into a fancy store and asking for a cake. If you are setting up a shop, which is your personal brand in LinkedIn, you need to be very clear what your thought leadership that you have and what kind of brand that you want to bring out of this thought leadership. We have dealt about this in a very exhaustive manner. And if I say that word, you all will resonate in a single stroke. And that is finding your differentiator. However, as I said, my differentiator earlier was something, and now I am pivoting something, which means the underlying thought leadership is slowly changing, because of which my personal brand also is undergoing transformation. So the ball is always in your court. Never you have to worry saying that, okay, what will happen if I do this or I don't do this? What will happen if I put this that people will think about me? This is the question that you can just ask yourself. Because if you start writing poems over a period of time, people will attribute you as a poet. So now coming to some concrete things, just to make your thoughts or make your vision be more clear. If you have heard about LinkedIn banner, LinkedIn headline, your about section, these all are nothing but the reflection of your thought leadership. Wherein in the headline of the LinkedIn, you say your expertise. Where in the banner, you actually declare to the world which are the areas you are going to speak about on a very broad term. I would say that would be attributed to the thought leadership. But the skills and other activities, you go to the headline, about section, and definitely the kingdom that you create through your content. Is this concept clear now? How you transcend from your thought leadership into your personal brand. And it's all the making of an individual. Nothing is created just like that. It's your making. And what I want to emphasize more is that you have the power within you. And this is what I told. People who are comfortable with text, yes, go and do an article writing, maybe in Medium, maybe in Substack. Maybe you create a blog about the trends in your particular technology. Go and write about it. You want to speak, there are podcasts that you can start all by yourself and speak on that. Create a YouTube channel and speak about it, showcasing your face. Nowadays, there is also something called as, or I mean, it's there for so many time, so much of time, but becoming more popular because of AI is faceless YouTube channel. You just throw the knowledge at the people, the value, you don't have to show your face. These two are something that you need to consciously think which is your strong point and get to it. Now I want to tell a very practical scenario. The recent batch that got concluded was CGM 10. And in the meantime, I also have dealt with almost 3,000 to 4,000 early career people. If I bring all these people into one segment without any biasing nature, I can say one thing that has come very strongly is people are very reluctant when it comes to these two formats. They are very, very confused as to how to start, what to do. I am only thinking about my office work. Is that what I have to write? When I tell them write your backstories, they are utterly confused. For all those people, the third point is very simple. You can be a content curator. Don't worry about creation of the content. Just focus on bringing together that content and putting in a format so that it is very easy to consume. In fact, I follow so many content creators who are actually not content creators, but they collate all the priceless wisdom that are actually put by other content creators. And I follow them because it is lessening my time. It is taking the burden away from my shoulder. So that in a single shot, I know, okay, these are the new things that are happening in embedded systems. Oh, this is how the copywriting has to be done. This is how the hook statement has to be done. I don't have to refer 10 books. I have the gist of what so many people are talking about. Simplest way, but let me tell you, those people have thousands and thousands of followers, genuine followers. So this is your high ticket for you to get into the thought leadership. You are very clear with your thought leadership. You know you want to build the personal brand, but you are not up for text and video or what other format of creation. You are not comfortable. Just go and pick up the low-hanging fruit and become a content curator. So let us go to the next slide. We have less time. I need to, yeah. So here are some don'ts when you want to build your personal brand. Don't talk to people. When I say talk to people, it means you are so much obsessed about talking about yourself only. And you have your ears shut. You are not thinking about what is the problem that I'm going to address for this person. When you talk about their pain points, their progression, their vision, their future, engagement starts. And boils down to one thing, which is also because of which we are doing this career Dwar talks or anything now you are seeing in career Dwar, it's all about reaching out to so many people without any expectation. There is a typo here. It is not reaching out with expectation. It's actually reaching out without expectation. And finally, don't aim and then start shooting. You keep on shooting at one thing and start aiming it. Do not jump. Today you felt that, okay, I want to talk about this technology, which I am so fond of. Tomorrow you feel that, for this other technology, I see that there are so many job descriptions. Let me jump to it. For heaven's sake, don't do that kind of activity. Stick to one thing till you feel comfortable and then you reposition yourself. Until that time, do not just jump across so many other aspects. You will ultimately confuse the audience. You collected some audience because of your thought leadership. They are now gravitating towards you, but you suddenly change the version of the story. And how many times we have spoken about that movie wherein, what is the screenplay? Utter nonsense. I don't know why that character comes, why this character comes. If you as an audience for a visual, you can smell this kind of things from a far off distance. Other people also can smell it. If you are approaching someone with an expectation, people can smell it and they will not entertain these kind of things. Nobody wants to be taught. Nobody wants to be sold. Until the trust becomes very solid, you cannot restore to these kind of things. And final aspects before we get into the prompts. The prompt sheet is anyways being shared to you in the Facebook group. So if you are not joined the Facebook group, kindly go and join the Facebook group. Yeah. So we will take a break and I will tell you what that break is. But before that, let me share the screen and show you a case study. The prompt sheet, the exact prompts, collection of the prompts, what are the input you need to give to ChatGPT and how to take step-by-step process. It is all there in the document. Using the same document, this is the case study. So I have taken a very conservative case study of something by name Sara Patel, who is a marketing consultant. Industry is marketing and branding. Current role is independent marketing consultant, blah, blah, blah. Now the first thing is input. So what is your go-to expertise? Give that to ChatGPT. And the prompt is, based on my experience and expertise in launching digital marketing campaigns for startups, help me identify the unique value I bring to my industry. Because of your unique value only, you are being approached. So you're explicitly asking ChatGPT to spell it out. So ChatGPT will give you some output. Now this is from here comes, that is a domain specific thing. Now here comes your unique flavor, which is the personalization that happens in the ChatGPT prompt. And that is your inspirational topics that you are so familiar with. Or what is that topic when you speak that people get so much inspired? Give that and AI will give you the output. The prompt and other things are there in the PDF that you can download. Authenticity and originality. Speak here those things that you very strongly believe. What excites you was already done. But now what is that you genuinely want to talk about? This is the input, this is the prompt, and you will get the output. Here is where I spoke about the 3 formats: text, video, or you curate. Here I gave an example saying that this person is now interested to create some article in Medium, which could be even your blog post also, if you have a website and other things. And by the way, if you are really so driven, go and create your free website. There are so many resources available to create your website. Having a presence on web is a very, very strong trust factor for people, because they come to your website, they see the social media handles present in the website, and they can go. All your blogs, if they are SEO optimized and all those things, will showcase when people search for key terms, then they come to your website, then you can divert them into your LinkedIn profile. Or if you want to really train them and earn some money, you can actually divert them to your weekend classes, master classes, whatsoever. So AI gave output. Finally, it gave the thought leadership report. And for which, this is the report. This is the prompt. Based on the following inputs, generate a 500-word report that outline my thought leadership strategy, including key themes I should focus on and how to express these across various platforms. And finally, because the thought leadership is very abstract in nature, we want to convert them into personal brand. And finally, as a content, this prompt also says that create a 5-step action plan for establishing my personal brand effectively. Finally, the output from ChatGPT would be your thought leadership summarization, the key themes, and the 5 steps branding action plan. Sounds so simple, but when you follow this action plan, you will very quickly see the output coming. No doubt about it. I have personally used all these prompts and I have seen tremendous change happening, because my clarity also sometimes wobbles. Then I put lot of context to ChatGPT to make myself clear. In fact, I do a lot of research, my competitors and everything, and give it as a context to ChatGPT and get very well-defined action steps so that I can go forward in my journey. Cool then. As I mentioned, tomorrow is a break time for the reason that there will not be any 8 p.m. session. So take a break, enjoy a movie, and finally, join our WhatsApp community, set reminder, not for tomorrow, but on Thursday. Share and repost whatever you see in the Career Dwar LinkedIn page. And I sincerely request you, because we are planning to be, I would say, so much of into this zone of helping many people. We cannot do it alone. So kindly reshare the post that you see in the Career Dwar LinkedIn page. Yeah. On that note, I wish you all that you create your thought leadership, solidify into your personal brand, and achieve what you want in your personal and professional life. Best of luck.